you want to get this is the part that's going to be put down here. You want to get that in kind of a rounded shape to make sure that the center gets on the wheel so that you don't have a cup on there and trap some air. So a nice curved shape there, and then you can just kind of roughly slap it. And then here we go for the centering. At this point you're going to be using a lot of water, but as you begin to develop your form more, you use less and less and less water so that your piece stays strong and you'll have plenty of time to get the shape that you want. In almost every move, your hands are touching each other. In this case, it's almost like hugging someone. I'll be coming around here, hands overlap. Most of the work is going to be done on this part of the hand. Okay? So it's just a squeeze, squeeze up. Just like that. So it's up. I always like to keep everything as clean as possible. It's just the way I am. By keeping you bring it up, come down and clean your base off. That just lets you know exactly where the bottom of your piece is, and it just keeps everything from just starting to get chaotic around the wheel. So one more. So here you got it up, and to keep it on center, you're actually pushing it off center just a little bit as you put it back down. So here it is, I'm leaning it down, and it stays in the cup of my right hand, but the left hand is pushing in and the right hand's pushing down. And because of those opposing pressures, but you see their hands are joined still, the opposing pressures cause the clay to compress into the smallest possible area, which is perfect center. So now again, down, it's like a downward motion and an inward motion, just like this, down and in, okay? Again, the hands are all joined, always. Down, the center of the piece resting right on that knuckle, right there. There's a nice little place to put that indentation, see there? And down, and then in, and then that's it. And then clean, and there I have my perfectly centered piece. And so, we're just going to make a basic cylinder here. I like to start out with a shape that's a little bit wider than it is tall, because that allows you to get in there and make a nice flat compressed bottom. A lot of people go in there and they try to come in and then start bringing the wall up and gradually on each pull flatten the bottom out, but I don't like that because you can't really get in there and compress the bottom. That's where you'll end up with a lot of cracks on larger pieces, is in the bottom after you've trimmed it, because the piece is not compressed enough. So here I go. It's, again, and here's this diving in. Imagine diving into the water. Put your hands together. Here we go. The work, all the work really is being done pretty much right there, right in the very center. So it's a diving in right in the center to the bottom, just like that. And it's always good to think about what you want to do and then do it. Be willful about each move.
Confident.
Don't sit there and just be wishy-washy about anything. Think about what you want to do and do it. So there's that, and then so I'm just pulling. Now I've gone down. I'm just pulling back with, again, this part's doing all the work. I'm pulling straight back to establish that base. And then I'm going to come in and just smooth off the bottom. Just like that. And I'm going to stop the wheel and just see the thickness. There's my needle tool. That's perfect. Just like that.
Okay.
About a 3/8 of an inch. I'm smoothing it off just a little bit more because I'm never going to be able to get back to the bottom again like I can now. Okay? So I'm going to make that just like I want it now, and then I don't have to worry about it anymore. Okay, so here we are. We're ready to start coming up with the wall. Now, in a shape like this, I love this is a perfect size to be able to do this, where you can just use your thumb on the outside, and you're just kind of grabbing it like a ring. But again, it's this middle finger is so important. Not so much to that one, but this one right here does so much of the work. Okay, so I've got plenty of water now, because I've got a lot of friction, a lot of clay to move. So it's just, I've got my thumb right here, and I'm just, again, this hand is here for support, and I'm just going to be coming up, but coming to the center at the same time. I'm coming up and in, okay? And watch this. I'm just going to lift it right up. I always like to work in this kind of cone shape, okay? Rather than this bowl shape, because it's hard to get things closed. It's easy to open up in the end. So this helps you keep your piece in control by having a nice small opening here, and also having it thicker on the top rather than the wall. This will always be a little bit thicker. It's easier to thin it down than it is to thicken it up. So that's one pull there. And basically, I'm just coming in for a cylinder shape here, and so now I'm making my indention. Hands are together here on the heel of the hands. It's just like this, coming in. This finger is going to be a little bit lower than this one. Again, the least amount of skin you can put on the piece, the better. Surface area means friction. You're always trying to work with as little friction as possible. At this point, I'm still using a fair amount of water, and a great way to distribute the water rather than wetting the whole piece at one time and then pulling it up is to have your little sponge in the hand, and that delivers the water as you need it, and it keeps it off the rest of this piece until you need it, okay? So these natural sponges are really the thing to use. So I'm just coming up to the piece with the sponge, but it's skin to skin, not sponge to sponge. Not sponge to clay. It's skin to clay. Okay. So here we are. See, I've made that little indention. This is the way the hands are. The right hand lower than the left. Got that little loop there. Here we go, coming up. See how the hands work together? Once I get that position, it doesn't change all the way up. Center the top, clean the bottom. Now you can't join your hands anymore, okay? You've got to let them work independently with each other because it's too tall. So you know where the bottom is, it's a little bit higher. I've got to come all the way down to here with my finger, see there? Because I want to pick up all that clay. It's a little indention. Here's my indention. I've got ready to go. All right, here comes my pull. Center to the top, clean the bottom. Okay, you see, again, it's very dry. I'm working just with my sponge. All the friction, since I'm coming up with a cylinder, all the friction really is on the outside, but the force is opposed on the inside by your inside hand. You have to have something to oppose each force, okay? So, the inside pressure is important as well. So here's another one. Got the indention. I'm set. Here it comes. And you're going to be relieving the pressure a little bit as you come up higher, because it gets thinner as you go up. So you let go of it a little bit, and you can see now I've got torque starting to happen right there. It's starting to spiral a little bit there. That means there's a little bit more pressure put on it than it could stand. But before that gets too out of hand, rather than doing much of a pull this time, I'm just going to kind of come in and try to take that out. I'm not really trying to raise the cylinder up much anymore.